Hey, you. Subscribe. You're watching Radio Free Cybertron. Hosted by Brian Kilby with J.D. Church, John DeLuna, Exvee, Amy Morgan, and Rob Clay. For the latest Transformer news, reviews, and more, visit tformers.com.
This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 349, recorded February 5th, 2014. I am your host, Brian Kilby. With me, just minty fresh with power, we have Melvar. He's had ice and snow. Speaking of ice and snow, so is Diecast. He actually doesn't have power yet. He traveled to his in-laws to do the show.
Off-site location.
That's awesome. And there's Don. It's probably about 40 degrees where Don is, just like it is here. So.
Yeah, it's getting nippy.
It's 40 degrees is shorts weather. I don't know what.
I say 40 degrees is warm for here anymore.
Actually,
yeah.
20 degrees is shorts weather for me.
I think it's supposed to be 18 tonight where we are.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Let's see here. On the show this week, we have This Week in History, the week's news, Q&A with Rob Springer. Haven't got confirmation yet, but hopefully we'll have comic news this week. I think we should have a couple reviews in the queue. And if you're listening to the podcast version, not if you're watching the video, sorry, but we have an exclusive interview with the podcast version, the audio version, the one you have to download, which you can get at tfradio.net. We have an interview with Jim Sorenson about Transformers Legacy. It's pretty much done, and he gives us some info about the book. I'm really excited. That's like the most anticipated project that he's done, for me, because I love toys. I love the toys. I'm primarily a toy fan, and I love the art, and it's just a ton of Transformers history in your hand. 300 pages, and full color. It's going to be awesome. So
when is that supposed to be out?
Early April.
I wonder what the price is going to be on that.
$50.
Oh, that's not bad.
Nice.
No, not bad at all for $50. No, 300 pages, full color. It's the same format, he said, as The Art of Prime, which I don't have handy to show you, but it's a little bigger than the other books. So that's pretty awesome. But we'll have that. If you are watching the video, just go download the podcast version. It will be, I don't know, I'm guessing probably 40-minute mark, hopefully.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
I just checked out Amazon. Transformers Legacy, a celebration of Transformer package art, on pre-order price for $36.53.
Do that now if you haven't already.
Oh, link it.
Nice.
Okay, hang on. Let me bring it up. Okay, and
It's all about the package art?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm putting it in the Skype chat.
So you guys go ahead and buy that. So let's go ahead and... actually, before we do, I do want to mention this. So, Toy Fair 2014, if you are downloading this on Saturday, this will probably post on Saturday, the 8th. If you're catching it then, next week, we will have live coverage, or as live as possible, from the Hasbro event at Toy Fair 2014. Diecast will be there. Anthony Bercali from TFE.info, he'll be there. And we're going to have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of awesome news. I'm excited. It's my favorite thing all year. Toy Fair 2014. So hopefully all the questions that we have about what's coming out this year for the Thrilling 30, Transformers 4, everything will be announced. It's going to be awesome. Diecast will be there. I'm going to be so jealous. If Kim would let me, I would actually just travel up there and go with you.
And apparently the tour is going to be very intimate too, like maybe like 30 people in the tour. So that'll be really neat, and we'll probably be able to ask a lot of questions. So I'm going to write everything down before I go. Good questions to ask, and hopefully we'll have some stuff to talk about on the show after Toy Fair.
Yeah, so we'll probably be speaking with you and Anthony both at the same time, or roughly the same time, to get your opinions on what's there. You're going to be taking lots of pictures. It's just going to be awesome. So, pretty exciting. So, let's go ahead and jump to This Week in History. So, in 1998, this week, the Headmasters episode, I Risk My Life for Earth, or as my favorite version of it is called, Life Can Be Sacrificed for Peace on Earth. It's the infamous episode that features the classic line, Fortress Maximus has come himself. I shall get Fortress Maximus to fight me. It also has the great line in the dub. Danny, they call him Danny, is crying at what he thinks is Spikes, his father's, or as he's known in the dub, Sparkle. He's crying, and Spike/Sparkle says, "Boys can cry, but not out loud. Men don't cry; they only get stronger." It's the best quote ever. I love that episode so much. I have watched it dozens of times. Probably explains a few things, but I love it. And that was, 26 years ago this week. Oh my God, that's awesome. If you've never watched it, go to YouTube, search for I Risk My Life for Earth dub, or Life Can Be Sacrificed for Earth, or Peace on Earth. I think it's just Earth. It's awesome. Watch it. It will change your life. It really will. It's transformative. So, who watched the Super Bowl? So who watched the Transformers 4 Age of Extinction teaser that was aired in the Super Bowl?
I watched both. Yeah.
So what did you think of the teaser? This is really polarizing. I mean, opinions on this are like, you like it or you hate it. Not much in the middle.
Well,
I was surprised at the... I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but it was very Michael Bay to me. It still had that strong odor of Bay all over it.
Absolutely.
But there were things I was excited about, like the green Corvette when he's in the air and just shooting. That looks pretty awesome. And of course, then you have Grimlock, which is 10 times the size of Prime. So I'm still anxious to see how that's going to work out, but I've heard a lot of opinions. I was kind of curious what Don was thinking and what you were thinking, what Mel was thinking.
Brian, you go ahead.
I was going to say, it's no secret that I pretty much hate the former movies. I mean, except for Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon and the original kind of have a couple of redeeming qualities. I don't care how bad this movie is. Optimus riding Grimlock is awesome. And if you disagree with that, you're wrong. Sure, it's not the Optimus Prime from G1. It's not Grimlock from G1. Maybe that wouldn't have happened in G1, but who cares? These are different characters, and that was awesome. This movie might actually be fun. So that was surprising. I really want to see that. I could probably just watch that over and over again, much like Give Me Your Face. Actually, Give Me Your Face was from Revenge of the Fallen, so maybe Revenge of the Fallen did have one redeeming quality. Probably.
That's the first time I ever heard you admit that.
It does. One. Give Me Your Face.
I was interested in the trailer. I liked most of what I saw. The problem is the same thing with all of the Bay's movies. Everything happens so fast despite their size. It's really hard to tell unless you freeze frame and go slow what's actually going on. I guess that's why I liked Pacific Rim was big giant robots don't move at the speed of light. And so it was just hard for me to follow what everything was going on in some of those scenes. I'm hoping it's a good movie. I'm hoping the toys are good. It's just, I've just been burned twice now with Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon, so I'm going in with zero expectations.
That's exactly what you should do. I don't really think this is going to be a great movie, but I do think Optimus Prime is going to be riding Grimlock, and I'm looking forward to that.
It makes you wonder what they're going to do with size. I mean, if Grimlock's that big, when he transforms, is he going to shrink down? Kind of like a Cosmos, when they're...
So I don't... I mean, historically, size doesn't really mean much in Transformers. You can argue about it. In fact, I was arguing about it with somebody on Facebook this past weekend. And really, who knows? I don't really care. I mean, they're gigantic robots. I mean, the laws of physics don't apply to them. The way they transform, the way they move. It's a suspension of disbelief. And if they, transform into robots that are about the size of the other Autobots, I'm okay with that, as long as they get to ride them in Dino mode.
Well, there's one thing about suspension of disbelief, and there's beating it over the head with a club.
Yeah, that's true. Can't wait. No, seriously, I really can't wait. Okay, so let's see here. Jumping ahead, what else do we have? Age of Extinction. Takara Tomy is also releasing the premiere Optimus Prime figure. It's called The Lost Age. So basically, they're also doing it, and I guess this is this a mock-up, or is this an actual photo?
I think it's a mock-up, because they were saying that...
yeah, it's a mock-up. That's airbrushed, it looks like.
They don't really know if it's going to have chrome yet or not. They're just assuming that it is.
So, I mean, it looks... I guess what? It's a little more muted than the U.S. rich, potentially, if that's what they go with.
Yeah, and it looks like the smokestacks are actually chrome on this one, or, silverish, where the U.S. version is just plain gray. I mean, the one part that should be chrome, and it's not.
Yeah.
And also, some of the weapons are coming completely unpainted on the U.S. version, and they're just coming as pea green, pea yellow plastic. So that looks a lot better if it's even close to that level of paint quality.
The only redeeming quality about this figure is that it has rubber wheels.
Well, actually, the U.S. version does as well.
That's what I'm saying. The U.S. version has rubber wheels. So that's the only redeeming quality about the figure, because it's really a 10-step transformation. It says 15 steps, but 2 of the steps is putting the weapons on, and like 1 step is like putting up the crouch piece from down. So it's really simplified. I mean, we were kind of talking about this. It's like Hasbro did a complete, 180. They went from, one extreme to the other, really challenging Transformers, at this price point, to super simplified, easy panel formers.
Do you think it'll help with children?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, I still think adults are going to look at it and be like, that's a $60 Transformer. I'm not buying it for my kid. And they're also going to look at it, and they're not going to realize it's a simplified Transformer.
Or care, potentially.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, kids are going to want Optimus Prime no matter how easy or hard he is to transform. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, now, one thing that I haven't seen on the packaging that I may have missed at this point, I don't see a level 1, 2, and 3 on there.
It's level 1.
So,
I noticed that. I'm assuming that all of these are level 1. Now, what I'm curious about are the Generations figures. Is that going to carry through when those come out? Will those say level 1, 2, or 3, or anything that's not part of the simplified transformation? Will that also go away, or is that carrying over? Who knows? Hopefully, they'll have some packaging at Toy Fair, and Diecast will actually be able to tell us. Make note of that. Find out. You might want to ask that. Hasbro. That'll be interesting to know.
Oh, that's definitely one of the main questions, because they said the simplified transformations was. I thought it was only going to be on that what is it, Pound and Transform or whatever, and now they're doing it on on the bigger figures too, that I was assuming that they were going to leave alone and leave a little bit more complex for the price point. But
Yeah, it's just,
I'm really unsure. If the Generations line is going to be the only line we have other than the Masterpieces, I mean, that's kind of going to be a little bit sad, but you know, I bought a lot of movie toys last year.
I didn't. Yay, I feel great about that. Let's see here. Next item. So, some people may not care. I do. Shop Factory is releasing Transformers Armada the Complete series with an exclusive lithograph, and that's pretty neat. So it looks like the set is going to be $45, and it includes 8 discs and full color, of course. So, and the lithograph looks pretty neat. You know, say what you all will about Armada, but I still, for the most part, like the toy designs. I still think it's still probably my favorite Transformers toy line ever. Yes, seriously. And I might actually buy the DVD set. Because
I will.
I don't actually hate Armada so much.
Now, is this the one that had the Unicron trilogies?
Yeah, this is the first part of the Unicron trilogy.
First part.
Okay, so that does not include the Unicron trilogies.
It's the Unicron trilogies, Armada,
Cybertron. Yeah.
So we're actually also getting Energon, the complete series. Basically the same deal, except it's 7 discs and does not look to include lithograph. And let's see here, Armada's coming out in, looks like March. Energon is coming out in May, and I can't help but think they're probably also doing Cybertron, though I don't happen to see a news item on that. But if you want Energon for some reason,
Kicker.
There it is.
well, now is the lithograph they're showing at the link, Brian, the one that you're actually getting?
I believe so. I mean, I'm assuming that.
Well, I didn't know that was just promotional art, because that's Dreamwave art.
Is it?
That's Dreamwave.
No, it doesn't look bad. It's not Pat Lee.
No, it's. But I remember them using that on a previous promotional piece. That's why I was wondering.
Gotcha. Yeah, I liked the art that they had in Armada. I forgot who did it, but you know, it wasn't bad. I just hate Pat Lee. So much. And they are also definitely doing animated complete series as well as a season 3 for the people who have the seasons 1 and 2 already.
I think that was the bigger news of the two announcements on the videos.
Yes.
Yep, that's the news. That's the news that does it for me. Finally, season 3,
and that's coming out in June. So, and it's great that they're doing a season 3 for those who already have it. So they didn't have to do that, but that was smart.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, let's see here. Season 3 is going to be 2 discs, it looks like, and it's going to be $15. And the whole series is going to be 6 discs and $35. And
that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I'll be getting that.
I'll be getting it too because I've never seen it.
Yeah.
You'll hopefully enjoy it. It's
the art style takes a little bit to get used to, but it's
worth
I love it. Yeah.
The only one I saw was that Wreck-Gar episode, and I wasn't really a big fan.
Not the best episode.
Yeah.
Garbage in, garbage out. Not the best episode. But it has Weird Al, so there you go. Let's see here.
I thought these were supposed to come out on, not to prolong this, but I thought these were supposed to come out on Blu-ray too. Are we not getting Blu-ray versions of these?
Don't know as of yet.
I'm not sure if Armada would look good in Blu-ray.
It would probably look terrible, but I'm certain they could upsample it. There are widescreen versions, right, of animated. I think there should be HD versions as well. I believe that's the case because didn't they air those on the hub?
Yeah, the HD versions they were airing on the hub, I believe, with animated.
Yeah, so I mean, if not now, probably later. I probably just releasing the DVD first, and they'll probably make a bigger production of the Blu-ray later on. Maybe double sell. Not like Transformers fans aren't the people who will buy something twice. I certainly have. So if you like the Creo webcomic from Takara Tomy, the episode 12 or issue 12 is out. Go check that out. It's pretty cute. I don't know that there is an English version ready yet, but I just love looking at the art on this. It's just so cute. Just so cute and crayon-y. So, yeah, there's that. Moving along, we have... so, Takara is also releasing or reusing the repainting, I guess. It's the best way of putting it. Grimlock from Fall of Cybertron. And that's going to be Fire Blast Grimlock. And it's garish, but I don't hate it.
You hate Grimlock, so...
I hate that.
Or you hate that Grimlock.
I hate that mold, but...
Yeah.
It's kind of nice, in a way. Like, it's just hideous. But it's hideous in a... It's hideous in an Energon sort of way. This kind of looks like an Energon repaint of like an Armada figure.
Yeah. You might get away with it being a Generation 2 figure, Brian. I mean, we did have the red slag.
Yeah. I've got turquoise Grimlock right here beside of me. Just so happened to. My red slag is in the corner. Maybe. So what's the deal with this color scheme, Don? Do you know?
Yeah. In Japan, the original animated Grimlock was going to get this as a repaint and a reuse of the mold, and it was with the Skywarp. I'm sorry. Was it Thundercracker that we didn't get from the jet mold and animated? I think it was Thundercracker, wasn't it?
Gosh, I think I saw both. But if I think they did both, didn't they?
Animated, we never got a Thundercracker.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking.
Yeah, animated Thundercracker.
I'm thinking Armada. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, animated Thundercracker and animated Fire Blast Grimlock. I think we're going to be in the same wave, and they just never got produced. It's one of the few ones they did not sneak out. You know, we got the Hydrodive Bumblebee and then the Winged Blade Optimus Prime.
What a terrible figure!
But we did not get the those two.
Yeah, I don't remember this, but it looks nice. What's the retail on it? Probably cost $80. Doesn't say, but I'm certain Big Bad or somebody will have it. It's just going to be probably $80 is my guess.
Yep.
Probably won't spend that much on it. If it came out domestically, I would definitely get it though. Okay, so the cutest item in the news, not counting the Creo news, and it looks like this might have been posted. This was posted just after we did the show last week. We are getting a Mr. Potato Head Grimlock. It's just so flippin' adorable. And it looks like it's going to be released in a 3-pack with Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. So we already got Optimash Prime. Is this a reuse of the Optimash Prime mold, or is this something new?
Oh my god, that Grimlock looks awesome.
Does it not?
Yes, that's the greatest thing.
So I didn't get Optimash Prime, and I think we already got the Bumblebee as well. But that Grimlock is flippin' awesome.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
It'll be my first, basically children's toy, but I'm getting it.
Yeah, it's that's a no-brainer. I'm buying that for myself, my nephew, for all my friends. That's exciting.
It's like comic Grimlock.
It's adorable.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's perfect. I love it. I'm getting that.
And that's going to be a 3-pack?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Totally worth it.
And it's, it'll probably be like $30.
Yeah, probably. That's about right.
I mean, how much was the Optimash Prime? Like 20?
It was on clearance for like $6, and I skipped it like an idiot. I think it retailed for 10 or 15. Something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't that much more expensive than a regular Mr. Potato Head, if I remember. I think it was like $9.96, $10.96, somewhere through there. I
have no idea how much a regular Mr. Potato Head cost.
I have no idea.
I'm guessing $10. So, third-party news, we have color images of Scoria, which is the Knox flag.
My God, this looks
It is beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It sincerely is just absolutely gorgeous. It's still too tall.
Yes.
So I was actually in an argument with somebody on Facebook about this past weekend, and they were like, it's Masterpiece. When it's not, it's third party, but it's Masterpiece, and Masterpiece is all about the animated version of the character. It always defaults to the animated, and Grimlock and Slag were the same height. No, it's not.
No.
It doesn't default to the toys. I mean, it clearly doesn't. It's a compromise between the two. And, I default to the toys. That's me, and that's my personal preference. And, Grimlock, the toy, is a head taller than Slag. And the fact that he is actually taller than Grimlock, and they had to add on a component.
Platform shoes.
The platform shoes. I mean, is that a minor complaint? Yes, it's totally a minor quibble. But if I'm gonna drop whatever on this, I would really like it to just naturally blend in with my my Grimlock better. But it's abso-flippin'-lutely gorgeous.
Yeah. Now
I think it blends in good enough for me. I'm totally happy that I'm getting this figure, and I think he'll look great next to my Grimlock.
I mean, in Dino
especially
mode,
with the shoes.
In Dino mode, it's going to be fine. I'll leave him in Dino mode. I mean, my Grimlock, I leave in Dino mode. It's not a big deal, but if I were to display them in robot mode, I would really want him to be a tad smaller. And considering that, I'm certain these things are designed in CAD first. You would think that they could have just scaled everything down before they had, the mold built. It's when they got that first sample. Assuming that it worked that way, you would think that it would have just been a matter of saying, "Oh, he's a tad too large. Let's drop it 10%." But oh well.
Now, one thing, Brian, is I have seen other sites with these pictures, but they're also showing multiple heads. But they're all variations of the red head. There's not a animation black version that I've seen yet. But there are multiple heads shown with this figure.
I've only seen the one. Actually, well, no, this shows the multiple heads because the one has his mouth open, one has his mouth closed.
Okay.
Knowing Fan Toys with what they did with the Not Shockwave, I wouldn't be surprised if people ask for it if they make it available separately for the figure, like $10 to get, a black head if you want it.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's just there's so much red on that torso. The black head would help kind of
break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
The Dino mode is just gorgeous, though.
And I cannot wait to see what their sludge and snarl looks like if they do it.
That would be that would be excellent. So that's really nice. I mean, it just really is. And let's see, that's pretty much it for the news. Anything else, guys? I don't have any other news items.
The blue streak. Oh,
you skipped the blue streak.
Oh, I skipped. Okay, so jumping back to the non-third-party news, we had announced before that there was going to be an exclusive edition blue streak. I had guessed that it's probably going to be a blue streak, and it is. So, do we have photos?
It's just a photo mock of a photo.
A mock-up.
Yeah, thanks.
That's fine. You had it. You said it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah. I mean, that's neat. We were hoping that it might be potentially a deco based on the Vinyl Tech. But I guess it's just blue streak.
No, that is off the Vinyl Tech, isn't it?
Is it? I haven't seen it. I'm just
Well, we haven't seen. They're just speculating.
It looks like it's all It looks like it's the Diaclone colors.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Yeah.
That's what I read. I haven't actually seen it. So, is it actually here in the news? I'm not. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I completely skipped over it, and I'm the one that added that. Bad host.
It looks awesome. I mean, it's basically art that we see right now, but
yeah, it's Diaclone.
I like having a blue streak that's blue.
Yeah.
And plus, he's going to come with the missiles. So right now, you can pick him up. I think like Big Bad Toy Store has him listed. I think he's like $85. So he's like $5 more than their normal price on their, Masterpiece cars. And you get the missiles too. So it's definitely worth the $5.
Yeah, so that's it's nice, and I guess considering I have the other 3 versions of that, I might as well get it.
And if you're going completist on Masterpiece, like I'm trying to, I kind of got to get it. And I think this is the same toy show that
Tokyo
Tiger
Toy
Tracks
Show
came from.
Yeah. Do you have Tiger Track? Did you pick that up?
Yeah.
Okay. You like it?
He didn't come out of the box.
No.
But I have him.
How much did you drop on that? How much did he cost?
I pre-ordered him when he first came out. I think he might have been like $90.
It's not bad.
So
that's cool. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and jump to Q&A with Rob Springer. After that, if we have comic news, fingers crossed. We'll jump to that. Then we'll have the interview with Jim Sorenson and more. So we will be back in just a few minutes.
You boys a bit bored? Snap into it! Snap into a Slim Jim!
Hey guys, it's Rob, and this week's question comes from Computron2, whose name is Bailey, not Phil. Bailey goes on to ask, "Hi Rob, Marvel has virtual games like Marvel Heroes and Superhero Squad Online. Why doesn't Hasbro make games like this for Transformers? Sincerely, Computron2. Well, Bailey, that's Transformers universe. And it's taking forever to make because the company that licensed it apparently isn't in a hurry. You gotta remember, these companies don't make these games. Licensees do. And for Marvel, Marvel's a bigger franchise than Transformers. So more companies are willing to step up and say, yeah, we'd like some money. While Transformers, Hasbro says, hey, we'll make this license available. We'd like companies to come make a game. And if companies don't really step up, then it's not getting made. I mean, Activision has been making the console games for a few years now. But as far as these online games, not many are really stepping up to it. The guys who make RuneScape stepped up to make Transformers Universe, and they just don't seem to know what they want to do with it. I mean, they were going to make an MMORPG, browser-based, free-to-play, pay-as-you-play type game, and you know what? They dropped it for a MOBA, which those are really popular right now. Your Dota 2 and stuff like that. Those are really popular right now. And, I understand because, let's face it, this company is not making Transformers Universe because they want to. I mean, because they have a passion in their heart. They're doing it because they want money. And this is not a passion project. To quote some other people I've heard say it, and I feel the same way. They're doing it for, a money grab. And a MOBA is a faster way to make money. I mean, MMOs aren't doing as well as they were prior anyway, so they're like dropping it in favor. Not to mention of the easier cash grab. And let's look at the probably obvious elephant in the room over there. The game was probably terrible. It probably wasn't working too well to begin with. I mean, they spent so much time building it, and just to drop it and start working on another way of playing the game, who knows? Hasbro might have been like, no, this will not fly. I mean, it might have been that bad. We don't know. I mean, none of us know. Maybe some beta testers might say it in a anon way because they signed a non-disclosure agreement, so they're probably not liable to say unless they risk it anonymously. Not to mention Transformers Legends, that game on your iPads, iPods, and Android tablets and phones. That's one of those games, man. That's a card game, but that's what it is. It's a virtual game. I mean, free to play, pay as you play, gameplay. A lot of people seem to really like it. I lose interest after playing it for a few minutes at a time. It's not for me. That G.I. Joe one they made is a lot more up my alley. But yeah, there is already two. I mean, there's, Transformers Legends, which has been around for about a year now, maybe more, and Universe, which is stuck in the black hole of time until... I wonder if they're going to try to launch it by the time the new movie comes out. That way it'll be at like a good hype level to market it. Especially with those Prime style graphics it seems to have. They probably work better with the movie hype. Now, if people keep saying, well, it's Prime looking, and what if the new cartoon doesn't look like the Prime graphics? Guys, this is a reskin. They're probably already okay with that. And like I said, with the movies being so big, they might just play it off as being being similar enough looking to the movie style graphics. I mean, it's not really an issue. But yeah, Bailey, that's where your online virtual games are. They're already out there. And why isn't there more? Well, tell these companies to start chomping at the bit. That's really it. I think I saw something about one company making more cell phone games and all that, tablet type games and all that for Hasbro, and that might be more of those. But to really, that's all I know about those. Is just a little quip in a news report, and who knows how real it is. I mean, it's all hearsay till you see something solid. So basically, Bailey, why you don't see more like that is the companies gotta want to do it. They gotta want to come to Hasbro, pay the license, and produce the product. And that's it. There's an unofficial one I saw. I see it occasionally. Don't ask me what it's called because I can't remember. It's on browsers and all that, sort of an RTS game. It's like a robot war game, and those robots look specifically similar to a certain cast. Nah, I mean, and I saw one on the Apple App Store not long ago. It was one of those run and jump type games. They're real popular on the tablet games, and you played. It wasn't called anything Transformers. It was on license, but you played animated Optimus Prime, running and jumping. I don't think it even, if you search Transformers on the App Store, he'll pop up. You'll just see it. You have to scroll for a little bit, and there he is. This little animated Optimus Prime. Like, I guess they scanned the toy or something. I'm not sure exactly how they. I can't remember. It's been a little bit. I played it for like a few minutes and deleted it. It was horrible. But there's some unofficial ones too that are, waiting, I guess, for a cease and desist from good old Hasbro before they shut down or reskin those characters. But yeah, Bailey, they're out there. There's two already out there. You just probably aren't thinking about them, and just that's it. Well, thanks for your question, Bailey. And hey, everyone, please send more questions my way. Rob@tfradio.net, or go to tfradio.net. Just period, and check out all our various social medias and ways to contact us, and you can send us a question there. I promise it'll work. And look at my blog, roborobspringer.tumblr.com. That's a mouthful, but that's... See what I'm doing. Right now, I don't remember what the last thing I posted was. Nope. Well, thanks everybody for your questions, and please keep tuning in. I'll see what they're up to now. Sometimes when they come back from break, aren't you kind of expecting one of them to just be upset, really, and everyone else kind of laughing? But no, that never happens. It'd be great, wouldn't it? Just like, and I don't want to wish suffering among my friends. It's just, wouldn't it be funny came back and they're like, someone's just, and everyone's like, we're back, and he's just crying his eyes out, or she, whatever. That's kind of mean. I shouldn't talk like that. All right. Well, see you guys next time. Later, taters. This was the Q&A segment you needed, not the Q&A segment you wanted. That's going to choose off somebody. No one knows why. Later.
Radio Free Cybertron has teamed up with Kokomo Toys and Collectibles in Kokomo, Indiana. If you're in the Kokomo area, visit our store for a huge selection of new and classic toys. Visit online at www.kokomotoys.com for our address and store hours. While you're there, check out our listing of pre-order items, as well as visit our eBay store. Visit us at www.kokomotoys.com. That's KOKOMOTOYS.com. We're also on Facebook.
The following is an excerpt from my interview with Jim Sorenson. Jim is talking about Transformers Legacy, which is being published by IDW. It is a Transformers compendium of box art. For the full interview, go to the podcast version available at tfradio.net. Look for Radio Free Cybertron, episode 349. I think we originally spoke with you like not long after BotCon last year. How far along are you now with Transformers Legacy, Jim?
We're basically done at this point. It's 99%. We've got all the pages laid out and locked. We're doing one last editing pass. I think we fixed all the spelling and grammar bits. Now we're mostly looking at really minute issues like graphical consistency, making sure that all the title elements are using the same font, that sort of thing.
Well, when is it coming out? When should we expect to see it?
Target date right now is April 30th, so we should be in just about 3 months.
So, in the course of writing this, what have you learned anything that you didn't know? Any major epiphanies or anything?
Well, some little things. For instance, on the Transformers wiki, there are pages for character Bellzone and Pothole and a version of Lightspeed. I think those are all actually errors, and I learned that when I was putting the book together because I came across a piece of artwork called Power Master Test Illustration. The Power Masters were a line of toys that would have been at the tail end of Generation 2 in the U.S. They never were released in the U.S. They were released in Australia and in the United Kingdom. But the test illustration, I believe, was one that was before the Power Masters were ready to go. It was used in some packaging mock-ups. But then when they actually came out with the final toys, they had all new illustrations. So I think what people were thinking of as a possible repaint of Ironhide, Power Master Ironhide, was in fact an early mock-up, before they had the Power Masters ready. I'm not sure why they did that with the Power Masters, and they never did that with any other line of toys. It's relatively expensive to commission a piece of the airbrushed artwork, but for whatever reason they did. Maybe because it was at the tail end of the line, they were feeling more nervous about the performance of the line, so they did more mock-ups than they might normally do.
And that was an excerpt from our interview with Jim Sorenson. The total interview was about 24 minutes long, and you can listen to the entire thing on our website at tfradio.net. Look for Radio Free Cybertron, episode 349, for the interview in its entirety. We'd like to thank Jim for being with us this week, and we are all very much looking forward to having our very own copy of Transformers Legacy, which is due out in April of 2014.
Warning. The following segment may contain spoilers for the most recent Transformers comic books. So, we're back. I guess to start with, before we get into Chapter 8 of Dark Cybertron, why don't you give us a quick recap of what happened in the last Regeneration 1 that we kind of missed?
Okay, well, mainly, Rodimus Prime led a really stupid attack on the Hub Network, which was defeated almost immediately. Evil Fortress Maximus showed up and kidnapped Circus Smasher and beat the crap out of Optimus Prime.
I'm sorry, did you say Circus Smasher?
I meant to say Circuit Smasher, but either way.
I think that might actually be more entertaining anyway.
Yes, I mean, just, Spike with all that pent-up rage about clowns or something. That would be much more fun.
Blowing up elephants.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Megatron in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Novelization. Anyway.
And also, something seems to be taking over Starscream, which I presume to be the underbase.
Uh-huh. That whole attack on the Hub thing sounds an awful lot like Alignment.
Doesn't it, though?
That story Furman wrote that was never actually official because it was produced for a fan convention with no, license or input or approval.
Mm-hmm.
Funny how that works. Of course, in that situation, I believe it was Grimlock's stupid idea.
Yeah. But, my best guess is that, yes, the Matrix that Hot Rod retrieved from wherever was the G1 cartoon Matrix, because, that is a giant robots and lab coats level plan that he has in this. We'll take our, 4 ships and attack this giant network of planets.
It only just occurs to me now that those people making their third-party masterpiece Huffers have missed out by not having a lab coat accessory to go with it.
You're right.
Okay, so we got More Than Meets the Eye 26.
Mm-hmm.
Did I actually get both numbers right this time?
I think so.
That would be amazing. So yeah, More Than Meets the Eye 26. We've got a few things going on with that. I think everybody's probably thinking a lot about the female Autobot thing, but remember the cover for one of the post-Dark Cybertron More Than Meets the Eye issues that had Megatron with the Autobot logo?
Yeah.
So, that's got me thinking a little bit more, and a little bit of what's going on with Megatron this issue seems like it's kind of setting up for that.
Yeah.
Just for one thing, Megatron's origin in IDW was as basically a freedom fighter from his perspective to overthrow the corrupt Cybertronian government before there were Autobots and Decepticons.
Yeah.
And like it's even said in the story, that purpose kind of gets lost conveniently as needed, and then just pops back up when Megatron needs it to rally and inspire.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of thinking that with what's going on now, it might be a little more genuine than that.
It's entirely possible. I totally lost my train of thought. I'm just kind of wondering if maybe he is taking what Bumblebee is saying to heart, which, somebody needs to for once. So.
Although, on that subject, at least Prowl is, he's starting to be Prowl again.
Yes. He has snapped out of his post-brainwashing funk, which, that's got to be rough.
Yeah, but it's even called out in the dialogue. You haven't been acting rational. Let's start doing that again.
Yeah.
I still really regret that the really cool, fun Prowl that was killing everybody from the first arc of Robots in Disguise was not actually, Prowl. Because that was so believable and so interesting to go along with.
Yes. And then, speaking of Autobots and bad decisions, I really kind of liked Rodimus's conversation with Orion Pax.
Yeah, there is that. So we found out what the numbers mean. So true to his word, Rodimus confessed to the whole crew who was active about the Overlord thing.
And stayed in charge by a very narrow vote.
Yes, very narrow indeed. And Orion doesn't really think that was the right way to handle it.
Yeah. And, it's funny, I forget where I was looking, somebody said they thought this was out of character for Optimus Prime, and that may be, but I think it's entirely in character for Orion Pax.
Maybe so.
Because I don't, his history being what it is, I do not think he would put up with people in positions of authority acting like that. I think when he was Optimus Prime and the responsibility ultimately fell on him, it may have been different because he knew the reasons and the rationalizations for all of it, but now that he isn't burdened with that anymore, he's free to tell his people when they're full of crap.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's completely right about it, too. Rodimus would not have done what he did if he was not fairly confident that enough would vote him to stay in charge.
Yeah.
Probably for want of any other better option, because we've seen the people who are on that ship. The only other option is Ultra Magnus, and nobody wants that.
No.
And of course, while we're speaking of the Dead Universe, one of my problems art-wise is ineffective splash pages this issue. Because of the artists involved. And so we get what should be a really, big, dynamic, compelling splash page of Nova and Orion Pax about to face off, and instead we get this. Arg, Ramondelli.
Yeah. Is there another sequel to Monstrosity or Autocracy or that whole line coming out this year?
Not that I've heard of.
I thought there'd been a rumor of it, but nothing concrete yet.
Unfortunately, that's not really my department.
Fair enough.
You know. But yeah, then we're back over to Cybertron again, which has a really good character moment with Bumblebee and Megatron.
Mm-hmm.
The dramatic entrance.
Yes.
Which is just so undermined by Megatron not having a lower body anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I mean, to be completely fair, I would kind of like to see the Bumblebee Megatron, buddy adventure movie.
Mm-hmm. And, I really wish at this point I had the Titanium's War within Megatron, because it is a pretty good match for that character model, and it comes in half at the waist. I know this because I found the legs at the Goodwill at one point.
I can't imagine that thing would be expensive to buy.
Shouldn't be. I'll have to look at it.
Besides, it's not like the thing is good for much else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's better than the original Titanium's Megatron, but still.
Yeah. And we have reached the point, thanks to Bumblebee, if this were a Doctor Who episode, this would be the point where Clara makes an inspirational speech, which the Doctor would then metabolize into pseudoscience.
I skipped most of that series, so...
Well, that's pretty much how the whole series goes, like every episode.
Okay, I'm fine with skipping that then.
Yeah.
I don't have too much else. We get Windblade making her debut in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Leading the troop of female Autobots caretaking for Metroplex, who's basically on his last legs.
Yeah, and it would seem on the surface that my previous idea was disproven. I'm fine with letting go of that, but the interesting thing is that they all seem to be fairly new. Or at least that is implied in a couple of places in the dialogue.
My thinking on this may have just been that they've been disconnected from the major goings-on of, what remained of Cybertronian civilization.
It's entirely possible.
They may have been out isolated. We saw with the start of Robots in Disguise that there was a lot of Cybertronians who were not affiliated with the warring factions, who were just out, not really involved with what was going on, who started to come back. They may have been one of those groups.
That's true.
The next couple issues are probably going to be fairly telling with that, and, of course, the Windblade miniseries itself.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if they're leaving off any explanations they may have until that. Because Dark Cybertron's got quite enough to resolve on its own.
Yeah, probably so. I would hope they would do a little bit of backstory for that, just because, being that these are going to be packed in with the toys, setting some of those story elements up to make people be interested to go and read more beyond this event would be a very good idea.
Yeah.
And, since this crossover has shaped up quite a bit from where it started in terms of storytelling, I think there's a lot better shot at that than what the first few issues made us feel like.
That's true. I really do get the feeling that the whole thing was started before Hasbro was able to get an idea of which issues went with which figures, hence Skywarp.
Mm-hmm.
And as time has gone on and they got, more into planning this year's figures, they were able to coordinate a little bit better.
Yeah, maybe so. I think there's probably also a matter of Barber and Roberts probably already had the broad strokes of the story worked out for themselves, and the toys Hasbro was already going to produce just kind of had to be fit around that.
Could well be.
For tie-in purposes.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't think there's really much excuse for Skywarp being as minimal in his issue, or Rat Trap being completely non-existent in his.
Mm-hmm.
Where some others like Tankor do a lot better for getting face time.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've got Metroplex, and Ultra Magnus takes his inspiration from Thunderclash.
Mm-hmm.
He's a swell guy. That's also another complaint about this. It took like 3 readings of the issue to realize, okay, that's Ultra Magnus saying that, not Skids.
Yeah.
Because all those blue face close-ups really do look the same the way they're being drawn.
Yeah, and since Skids figured out the last couple of problems,
it makes sense because Skids is the one with the superpower to learn things, from like observing once.
Yeah.
So it would make sense that he retains that knowledge and would apply it again where he sees it would work. It doesn't fit so much for Ultra Magnus to remember that and decide they can do that again here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And the outcome of that leads us into the other splash page failure, which I will just say, arg, Rojo.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing, though. It's not like they're not like Ramondelli's robots, but, for being supposed to be gigantic, they don't look gigantic the way they're drawn.
Yeah.
They're horribly under-detailed to be huge. I said in the review I wrote for T-Formers, it reminds me of Season 3, with Metroplex and Trypticon fighting. And, there was nothing to give a sense of scale to them, because the character models were super simplistic, and there was never environmental cues to take an idea of they're supposed to be giant instead of just normal-sized guys fighting out in the desert like normally happens.
Yeah.
It really doesn't work. The Headmaster's cartoon, which was not animated by ACOM, so, it had production values. When Fortress Maximus assumed robot mode, or was even, near a city, everything was done more so that you would get the sense of this is big, there's a lot more detail on it than the other ones. That's how you would do a giant Transformer to make it look and feel gigantic to the audience. This just doesn't.
No.
Rojo's designs kind of work for the normal size guys because they shouldn't be super detailed anyway, but as odd as it feels to say this, I think James Rise would actually be more appropriate to have done the Titan splash panel at the end.
Well, he did do a very good job of making Metroplex look big, so yeah.
I mean, he's got that detail level down that you need for this.
Yeah.
Robert Yo probably could have done that too. I want to see him do more work here.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed that issue where he was doing a lot of the Cybertron stuff.
I don't know if he'd be appropriate for this, but I'd love to see Matt Frank again, too.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt Frank could probably do it justice, because, one of his things is doing Godzilla comics. And Godzilla art in general, so I think, he's got that mindset of draw giant things.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so anything else for this issue?
Not that I can think of.
Well, I think next week we're going to have Chapter 9, won't we?
Is it next week? That'd be nice.
It might be next week. I'm trying to remember when the iTunes preview fell, because that's usually 2 weeks out.
I think it was... Well, here's hoping.
Yeah.
You can hear our show on Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher allows you to listen to your favorite shows directly from your iPhone, Android phone, BlackBerry, or Palm phones. On demand and on the go. Don't have Stitcher? Download it for free today at Stitcher.com or in the app stores. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
So we are back. If you're watching the video version and you want to check out the Jim Sorenson interview, and you really should, go to tfradio.net, download episode 349. It will be posted, and enjoy. Jim is so awesome, and I am super stoked about that. It's a bargain. Just the art, some of the art that some of the stuff we've never seen before that he was able to get. I mean, I didn't get to tell Jim this, but what I've always appreciated about the stuff that he does, I get to help doing the podcast. We help add to the culture of the Transformers fandom, and we help spread knowledge around. But what Jim gets to do is he actually gets to add new knowledge that we didn't originally have. He gets to uncover things that are that have been lost, and I think that's awesome. So. Yeah, I really cannot wait to get that book. So that's going to be fantastic. So, again, Toy Fair 2014. Diecast is going to be there for the Hasbro event. That's going to be on February 15th. We normally start our live stream at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And that's on Saturday, February 15th. It's just going to be fantastic. We'll get lots of Transformers news. If you don't get a chance to watch live, make sure to follow us on Twitter so you can follow along with all of the news. We are on Twitter at TF Radio. We'll also have photos on our Facebook page at facebook.com/TF Radio. And I am challenging myself to make sure that I have all that as well on our Tumblr blog, which is tfradio.tumblr.com. So, I am really excited. This is my favorite thing all year, even more so than BotCon, because it really helps set the tone for the whole year.
Yeah, I wait all year for the Toy Fair show myself.
Yeah, it's going to be killer.
If we had to guess, what do you think we're going to see this year? I mean, last year we saw Metroplex. This year, I'm thinking we're going to see that Generations RC.
They'll announce the cancellation of that Generations RC.
And then
what do you guys think we're going to see?
Diecast, you will hear the scream inside the Hasbro studio.
I'm hoping that RC is Headmaster. They've already been able to squeeze out Target Masters, which is a little easier. But, we've had a Headmaster figure or two over the last 10 or so years, 12 years. We had, is it Energon Omega Supreme? He was a Headmaster.
Yep.
Overload was kind of a Headmaster.
More of a Breast Force sort of thing, I think. I mean, am I wrong? It was a head too.
Yeah, he's kind of, and then also you could if you.
No, I'm sorry, Brain Master. He's more of a He's more of a Brain Master, not Breast Force.
I think we're going to see if they continue with the Connectobot series, we'll see a lot more of that, or we'll see its replacement. But I think this year we'll also see if they're going to continue with Creo or not, or how much we see or don't see of Creo.
Oh, that's the thing, too. Not only it sets the tone for the year, and it also lets us know, like, hey, what are they continuing and what are they not? If you don't see it, it's not coming. Sometimes if you do see it, it's not coming, which, unfortunately happens. Those Transformers Weebles. I will never shut up about the Transformers Weebles. But yeah.
I'll tell you what, Brian, if I ever do get my Headmaster RC, I'll pick up Torch for your Transformers Weeble Wobbles.
I appreciate that. But man, they looked so awesome, and they were Weebles.
Do you think we're going to get a Titan figure again?
Probably not.
I think they're going to redo that Metroplex. I think they're going to make a Necro Titan out of it.
That's possible. I don't expect a new mold, but they've been doing that price class or price point for Star Wars now for the last 15 years. So,
or if we do get Metro Titan, it will be a San Diego exclusive.
No, I said Necro Titan because I want Metro Titan.
I know, but I'm just saying, since the mold will be on the line, if they do one, they'll do the other for San Diego.
Yeah. I would, I want Metro Titan. Not going to lie about that, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Star Wars is different, but they'll have like a Death Star or something at that price point or more for Star Wars. But I don't know that they'll do a Decepticon at that price point. Especially considering the Autobot didn't necessarily sell that great.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I've never seen it. I saw it at one Toys R Us one time.
And I don't think that's because it sold so well.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Because if the stores around here ever got them, Brian, I never saw them. Literally.
I haven't. Never come.
I know Big Bad Toy Store was even showing that there was a limited restock. So that means they sold through their first allotment. I know Amazon sold a bunch of them, especially because they broke the release date on it.
Yeah, San Diego's sold out.
BotCon sold out because Big Bad had them first at BotCon.
Yeah.
And there was a whole wall of them, and they were all gone Saturday.
So to me, the sales were impressive, but like you said, it could just be that there weren't enough ordered from, the retailers.
The retailers, yeah.
And we haven't seen it in Ross yet, which is usually a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so. I mean, also, just to mention, we're not only going to be covering Transformers at Toy Fair. I mean, Sunday when I go in there, when the actual start of Toy Fair, there's going to be Lego there. There's going to be a whole bunch of things that we're going to be covering.
Ninja Turtles will be there.
Ninja Turtles, yeah. So there's going to be a ton of news.
So are you doing the whole? Are you doing the whole Toy Fair? Or are you just doing the Hasbro?
I'm doing the whole Toy Fair. I'm going up
you're so
Saturday
awesome.
morning.
You're so awesome.
And I'm staying Saturday night and Sunday night. So I'll do Toy Fair Sunday and Monday.
That's so awesome. So we'll work something out where you can get me things to post, and I'll post them, or I can set it up for you. I would rather probably go ahead and do it just to make it easier for you if you can just give me a dump.
Yeah. To post to Twitter or to the...
to everything. You've got Twitter. I'm like for photos and things.
Oh, okay.
So that's super awesome. So yeah, man, I'm excited. This is awesome. So we've had people go to Toy Fair, and like our friends from ASM Magazine, TF Wiki, TFU.info. Those guys always go, and they're always great to help out and give us news and give us access. But going ourselves for the first time, that's really cool. I'm really enjoying having someone in the area in the Northeast who can do things like that. In March, we will be going to Jolanta, and that is the Atlanta-based unofficial G.I. Joe convention. And Rob Springer so basically they're expanding their scope this year, and they're moving out into Transformers and other things. Rob Springer will be co-hosting the Transformers panel, and we'll also have a table there. So if you like G.I. Joe, or if you're in the Atlanta area, drop by and say hi. I need to get up with Sean to get the table and everything, but we should also be at SavCon later on this year. Probably going to try to do a table there. I want to do TFCon, definitely. Don't know about a table, but I definitely want to go at the very least. I need to check up into that and see what that looks like. I know Diecast is definitely going to go to a MegaCon.
Yes, definitely.
And I spoke to Keith about it. I really want to go. I just need to figure out, what the logistics are, because it's definitely a convention-heavy year for me. I'm actually talking about doing Dragon Con this year, too, so... Yeah, on the drive home today, Kim and I were talking, and she was like, are we going to have a vacation this year that doesn't involve toys? And I just sort of looked away.
Yeah, let me know with OmegaCon. I mean, if you come up by yourself or something and, you need to work something out, we could probably do that.
That'd be awesome. So it's going to be a huge year, and really Toy Fair is what starts it off for us. And again, I'm just stoked. I'm really excited. So, anything else, guys?
Nope. I can't even.
That's pretty much it then. So, we will be back next week live. We were going to do the show live this week, and I had to cancel. Last minute, we decided to not cancel. So, we still had a ton of people show up in the chat. We love our chat. You can find us at tfradio.net/live or tformers.com. And we have just a fantastic chat room.
I guess you could say our chat is where it's at.
You could say that, yes.
Love you, Don.
We have a great chat, and we love interacting with them during the show. We do a post-show hangout as well that Diecast runs, and we have a dedicated group of folks who do that. We really enjoy just interacting with our fans, and we love doing it live. So, and as Paul says, the chat loves us. So, it's, it was great actually being able to do the show live today. So, I'm glad that actually worked out. We do it each week, starting about 8 p.m. Eastern time or so, give or take. We normally start actually chatting amongst ourselves by about 7:30 just to try to work the bugs out. Usually it happens. Last week it didn't.
Or the Insecticons.
Yeah, true. But we actually start streaming the show live at about 8:30 Eastern Time on Wednesdays. And so tfradio.net/live, tformers.com, or you can circle us at Ustream. Actually, follow us at ustream.tv/something. You can get that at tfradio.net. And we also try to stream live to YouTube, which I didn't do this week. So, for the guys, I'm Brian Kilby. We will be back next week. And don't forget to watch us live, Toy Fair 2014. Saturday and Sunday, I guess. February 15th and 16th. We'll be back. Have a good one.
Later, guys.
This has been Radio Free Cybertron. Visit us at tfradio.net for show notes and to subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at tfradio for news and updates. Watch our live stream at tfradio.net/live. Join our Facebook fan page at facebook.com/tfradio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, TF Radio Network. Have a question or comment? Leave it on our Facebook fan page or mail it to contact@tfradio.net. This podcast is released under a Creative Commons license. Any part of this podcast can and should be redistributed, but please, proper attribution is required if you know what's good for you. Jeez, when are these guys ever going to move out of their parents' basements?